I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Purple for the Win podcast with Andy Carlson. Come to you all off season long, covering free agency, the draft, OTAs, and then we're on to training camp. Get the show on 1500 ESPN, Podcast One, and the Podcast One app.
And whose team is this? Is this your team, or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father. I have no idea what I'm doing, but you know, either they're Chiefy, Chiefarino, Chifa, dun, 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 dun. So let's try and learn something together today. The website is dadmodepod.com. Tweet at the show at dadmode, use the hashtag and dadmode. And as always, to support us in the easiest way you know how, dadmodepod.com/Amazon. Take it right to the homepage, bookmark it, and then we get some credit when you buy some stuff up in there. Today, something I've been noticing since Muggsy has turned 2, and we've gotten into the mimic phase, the whole monkey see, monkey do phase, and the honeymoon is over. The honeymoon where, a lot of parents do this, and I'm sure I'm guilty of this as well, but going on the social media and putting on that, oh, my 6-month-old kid is completely zonked out except he's watching Saw. Oh, look how edgy I am as a parent. Cool. Or, you know, the photos of the kids holding the beer. Like, I understand that's it was funny, like when it first happened, but it's a little effed out. Yeah, it kind of is. But now, as the kids get older and are starting to become a little bit more aware of things, and they're at the stage where they want to feel like they want to elicit a reaction. Like they're sort of miniature praise junkies, all of them, and they just want, you know, mom and dad and friends and family and grandpa and grandma to look at them and be like, oh, you were so cute, look at you. Right? And their easiest way to do that, what gets the most reaction, is when they do adult things or when they copy what they see adults doing. And it's cool. It's all well and good. It's how you get kids to say, please, thank you, you're welcome. Look people in the eye when they're shaking their hand, out there doing work. Like the wife is doing some landscaping projects, and you know, Muggsy's getting down the dirt, getting her hands dirty. She's learning how to do that stuff and work, and it's good. But also, there's the other side, and it's both in what you say and what you do. And I'll admit, I've been a little freewheeling with this. I've been having Muggsy, watch, maybe some episodes of House of Cards, maybe some movies that have some questionable language, but now we're starting to get to that phase where she's starting to parrot and mimic some of those words, some of those actions, some of those things, and yeah, so we're gonna have to be a little bit more careful now. This is now the dead zone. This is now the dead zone between age, for a young girl, probably 2 to 16, where not going to be able to watch like a bloody, gory war movie or horror movie in front of her, unless she matures fast for her age. Because, I mean, there's some guys that still can't watch blood and guts, and some girls that, 11 years old, are watching Saving Private Ryan with their dad eating some Cheetos, and they're perfectly fine with it. And also the so there's something that I do with my wife. Now, not what you're thinking, but it's something so subconscious that I don't even think about Muggsy being in the room. And you know how you play grab ass with your significant other. It goes back to when you're dating and then you're newlyweds, renting your first apartment together. It's like, oh, it's so cool having a place to our own. And now that we're in the house and you're still playing grab ass. You're in the kitchen and, she's doing some things, filling some water bottles, doing whatever, and then you just come up behind her, and then you do the Mike Tyson, or actually more like Rocky Balboa speed bag on her ass, with the with the hands. Except now, because I've been doing that for years, right? That's like my go-to thing of that's the move. But now with Muggsy around, she walks up to mom right afterwards and then starts throwing hands right at her ass. And now it's like, oh, probably shouldn't do that because, if she sees this enough and then does the action enough, it sort of becomes muscle memory, and also it becomes what she does. So then she'll go to childcare or the schoolyard and then just walk up to a little 3-year-old Molly and then go Rocky Balboa on her ass and go. Yeah, so we have to be a little bit aware of that. That's why I'm always, as a childcare. If I was a child care professional, and if you are one out there, Mazel Tov, your job is not easy, and then you see kids come in, and they're really quiet, and then they just bust out with fits of rage and anger, and then all of a sudden you see them like open hand slap another kid and yell at them to shut up. Yeah, I always wonder, that's not coming out of whole cloth. I mean, that's not just coming out of nowhere. Usually. I mean, they've seen that somewhere. And that makes you question their home life. Yeah. But not trying to get too philosophical on it. And, all right, so, as a dog owner, I know that dogs are our best friends and who rescued who, blah, 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 blah. But our dogs are small dogs, and small dogs means yippy dogs. So, every little sound that happens outside the house, it's... And, the default reaction for you, especially when you didn't have kids, was, hey, shush, shut up. Hey, shut up. Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth, bull, when you're talking to me. Shush. But now, when, say, over 4th of July, dogs are barking at some random fireworks, and then we tell them to shut up, and then Muggsy walks over there, and then she goes, shut up. Shut up. And I know on the grand scheme of things, shut up is not necessarily... all right, so on a scale of 1 being normal language, 10 being an N-bomb, telling a dog to shut up is probably about a 4. But we're trying to keep it to 1s and 2s here, as she's 2 years old. But I've gotten to the point where I don't care what other people think of me, and it's very freeing. Right? You want to obviously keep up appearances. I'm not going to be showing up to the grocery store looking like Jeff Bridges, the dude from Big Lebowski, but not trying to impress anyone, that's fine. But I feel like with kids and parenting, there's a lot of satellite warfare going on. Like Vietnam, the United States was fighting, the South Vietnamese were fighting the North Vietnamese, but really it was Russia versus the United States, sort of those things. Oh, proxy wars. There we go. And that's what it is with parenting. And that's why you see when kids are decked out to the nines and they're wearing the brand new Jordans and all that stuff, it's not really about the kid. It's not really about little 8-year-old junior wanting the Jordan 22s, which even as kids' shoes are $65, and a shoe that they're going to destroy, run through mud puddles, and then outgrow in 2 months. No, that's about the parent. Yeah, that's about the parent projecting their videos of like, look at me. We're so well off that I can afford $60 to $80 shoes that my kids are going to grow out of in 2 weeks. There ain't no hand-me-downs around here. It's proxy wars of showing off. And in the same vein, if your kid is out there, like we mentioned, open hand slapping kids and telling kids to shut up and all that stuff, that's a reflection on you. Yeah, that's although I feel like parents don't take the latter to heart as much. With their kids, have their face are dirty, they've been wearing the same shirt for 4 days in a row, and all they do at cafeteria is eat buttered noodles, and they don't say please, they don't say thank you, they tell everyone to shut up, and then all of a sudden there's like, oh, he's got ADHD, he's got some light Asperger's, sure. And that's the ticket, yeah. And that doesn't really register. I'm more of the latter. Like I I don't have the narcissism to dress Muggsy up in $60 shoes, and I'm glad that the wife doesn't have that gene either, because that's absolutely stupid. It's a waste of money. The kid doesn't even care. The kid doesn't appreciate it, and you just look stupid. It's not prudent financially, and also who cares? No one's impressed by you. But the latter part, I am very aware of that part. So, like taking Muggsy to childcare, always make sure her face is wiped, her hair is done up well. She has a fresh diaper, and stuff that it doesn't make you feel bad for the kid, and then also you kind of raise an eyebrow at the parent. And to bring it full circle, the telling kids and pets to shut up, or you're shooing them out of the way with your foot, not kicking, not straight up drop kicking dogs in the ribs. Although I'm sure that there's a bunch of examples of that out there, sadly. Yeah, but just the manners, the please and thank you, the not telling people to F off, the not telling people to shut up thing. Yeah, I think that's a big reflection on parenting. And also, what's really big with me is I love talk radio. I love podcasts, and I listen to that all the time when we're driving. And Muggsy likes music, so sometimes we'll go with music, and also sometimes if we kind of got time to kill, Muggsy just loves watching music videos on the TV and then dancing along. And we'll go with the sort of lighter stuff, the Taylor Swifts of the world, although she did respond pretty favorably to Billy Joel recently, so that's fun. And the whole thing was about talk radio and podcasts. So I love Adam Carolla. I love Howard Stern. Yeah. And if you're familiar with those two, the language and the topics, not exactly kid-friendly. And it'll get exponentially worse until she's 8, 9, 10 years old. Later than that. I feel like once a kid is 14, 15 years old, then you can start listening to the radio with the cussing and the sort of off-color topics, depending on the kid's maturity level. I think it's fine. But not ready to give up my podcast, not ready to go full top 40 pop music, but so I love Freakonomics. I love Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Now, those are foul language free and are usually on topics that are perfectly fine for a 2 to 14-year-old. And I kind of want to make my kid a nerd. I do. I want to make them a history nerd, a nerd that's very inquisitive about things like why did the Industrial Revolution change the world? Why did FM radio become a thing? And those sort of things. I want them to be curious and always be wondering, why is that? Why is that? Because all kids start off with, why is water? How come it's raining? Blah blah blah. And it's more of a annoyance phase. They're not really interested. They don't care why the ducks are flying south. They really don't. They just want to bug your ass with questions. But I want to have Muggsy and future kids to be actually inquisitive about such things. So I think Freakonomics, Hardcore History, and a bunch of other educational podcasts are right up that alley. So that's what we listen to in the car. And I just want her to be learning. I don't want her to be dumb like Dad. I don't want her to just absorb top 40 pop music all the time, although I'm sure there's a time and a place for that. I'm sure she'll be dragging my ass down to the X for concerts for Teeny Bopper, XYZ on, once she's, 12 to 15 years old, which is fine. But overall, starting to be very aware and cognizant of what I'm saying in front of Muggsy, what I'm listening to, and what we're watching. And now we do this until she's out of the house. Yeah, good times. If you enjoy us, tell a friend, spread the word. And if you're in a dad and mom groups, do it up. The show's available on iTunes, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all in Andy Carlson Show. And the website for the show, dadmodepod.com. But until next time, be a man, be a father, go dad mode. We'll check you later.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.